So Ani Chökyi, so nice to see you here in this such a nice place where we have a Buddhist temple here and all surrounded by nature and the sound of the birds, everything ready made for us to contemplate on, right? So my first question to you is that what is Dharma?
Dharma is it's both the path and it is the result, and the Dharma is that which changes us into something higher than what we are right now.
I see.
It is the path that the Buddha left behind for us to walk and follow in his footsteps. And it's also the ultimate truth.
Sure. That's why it's ultimate truth. That's why it's Esa Dhammo Sanantano. This is the eternal natural law or something like that, grossly translated. In Dhammapada and after each thing they say a lot of Esa Dhammo Sanantano. Great. So, how from the perspective of Dharma, how we human beings are related to the nature that nurtures us?
The nature.
How we are intimately, what is our dependent origination with nature here?
Well, I mean, according to the Dharma, on the higher views of the Dharma, then we create the world in our image. We are the creators of the world that we experience, and we
Sure.
experience on the basis of our own karma. Then some of this karma we share, and some of this karma is individual, and so we experience the things around us in different ways accordingly.
I see. So when you say we create Dharma,
We create the world
We
that
cre-
we live in. We create the sensory experiences that we have
I see.
based on our karmic habituation.
So this world is not a real world, but our perception has created this world, right?
It is real to us because this is a reality that we make for ourselves and live
Okay.
in. Due to the karmic habits that we have, then this is what we perceive. Just like a bat will perceive things in different ways due to their different
So
karma.
as we transcend from higher and higher level of understanding, this world will also change, right?
Well, we will experience it probably very differently. I mean, even now we see how two completely, as a people living in the exact same surroundings can experience. They have experiences that are very different, and they describe their own reality very differently.
Sure. And pathway to that, to understand the reality as it is. That Esa Dhammo Sanantana is an inner transformation, right?
It's an inner path, yes.
Inner transformation. So in the Buddhist way, the way you have been understanding and practicing the inner transformation, as far as I understand, Buddha gave many teachings. Sometime I've been reading 84,000 Dharma doors. It's because so many different kind of people there are there. That's why. Or can you explain that one little bit?
It's correct as you say. We are so very different, and we all have very different obscurations, and we have different ways that we hinder ourselves in seeing things as they actually are.
Okay.
And due to that, then there are so many different skillful means in order to get closer to the truth.
Sure. So this means that it's a completely democratic religion, right?
Well, you can say that.
Isn't it? So
It's very adapted to the level that we have, and it's very crucial also to, first of all, find out where is your level, and then to start your own transformation and your inner path from where you actually are,
sure.
instead of jumping to try to understand the higher truths before you are actually ready
Definitely.
to take them in.
Sure. Is this 84,000 Dharma doors that you have been talking now, and you say 84,000 different skillful means or upaya kausal, meaning that we should enter to different door depending upon the defilement we have, or just one door will take to everything?
Well, I think I think it's really important to focus. First of all, it's important to have guidance, because it's sometimes very difficult to understand where one goes wrong. And it's very important to understand that, to understand what is my particular misunderstanding. And to have some help in finding a particular practice that will take you the furthest that is possible for you at this
Okay,
point. And
great.
so I think it's very important to stick to one practice for quite some time until one
Sure.
masters it.
But in the university setup that we are working, there are many different kind of students are coming, right? And they say that, okay, professor, my problem is mind wandering, and at that level I will like to manage my mind wandering so that I can focus better. So if that is the level, that is the what one is looking for, what is the pathway here?
Well, I think it's not always what we are looking for that is necessarily the right path for us. I think sometimes when people say, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to learn, then we are following our habitual pattern of just grasping for what it is that we want and trying to avoid that which we don't want. And that is the energy that is driving cyclic existence. So it's not necessarily what people seek, it's not necessarily what they actually need. I think the Buddha very, very skillfully taught the very first step is ethics. And to me, ethics and ethical conduct and moral conduct, it's something that maybe not so many people are interested in, because it's not so fascinating. But I think it is an area of practice that is very dangerous to neglect. And it is because it is the area of practice that will actually take you to a calmer mind. If we do not have our ethical conduct, our moral conduct in order, then there is no way we can ever calm our minds. So just to jump to learning mind-calming techniques without looking at your own ethical day-to-day conduct, it will probably not take one very far.
Definitely, the Buddhist path, the first is Shila, what we call the Shila part is very, very important.
Very important.
And then that will bring us to the Samadhi and then to Pragya and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But today, the type of audience that we have, that we work on, they seek for immediate benefit finding.
Yeah, they do.
And therefore, when I say that, okay, follow the ethical principle first, that is definitely needed for the enlightenment or that journey where the Buddhist idea is ultimately to get that all cessation of all suffering and all that means the enlightenment and so on. But somehow other sentient being, like as I said, the example of our student in the university, today in very many different universities in US, they talk about mindfulness, the sati, the samma sati, the right mindfulness and so on. What is your take on that? Student can do that one even before telling them that, okay, you have to be ethical before you do this, because they are looking for some kind of they are suffering and they need some kind to relieve that suffering.
Yeah.
Not the root cause, but at least to treat that one in the symptoms, in the surface. There is a comparative advantage or relative advantage there too, right?
I mean, there could be. But I think you will be hard pressed to become very successful in it if you do not combine it with ethical awareness. And even so, I think also there is a danger of it becoming a cold-heartedness to it that is very in contradiction with Buddhist teachings. And so I think that I wouldn't really know, but I think probably that some of the teachings that are being given popularly on mindfulness today have very little to do with the Buddhist way of thinking. and that it is just taking one technique out of context and focusing on it for a very different purpose.
Sure. For therapeutic purpose, for example, mindfulness-based stress reduction and all this, this is a different kind of thing that when it started and so on. But there are studio now doing that one. Anyway, that is there. Um, what I wanted to ask you is that, yes, I do understand with you that in Buddhist teaching, the karuna, the compassion part is also that is a skillful means really in very much. But can you say something, because for everyday beings living in the society in a given civilization, they also look for some kind of celebration, some kind of ecstasy, some kind of dancing, singing, all those kind of things. Do you see the importance of that one also as the art of living?
I think that as long as we seek sensory gratification as our happiness, then we will never ever become truly happy. We can sometimes feel some pangs of joy, or like you say, ecstasy from relieving the desire that we have for these sensory experiences. But it's just like we say, it's like drinking salt water. It never takes away the thirst. It only makes you thirst for it even more. So to me, it's very important to try to look at that habit that we have.
Ani, once a person is exposed and they do different kind of these things, and when they themselves experience that, oh, instead of fulfilling my thrust, it is rather magnifying my desire and thrust. So maybe that experientially he will be more opted to leave that one. No, that is just rubbish. That is not something for me. And that way experientially he can turn toward like the Buddha, when he was in the palace,
Of course.
he was experiencing all those things, right?
Yeah, it was. But unfortunately, it's not easy to give it up once you have developed a taste for it. What he did was remarkably difficult. It's like one says that, suffering is like a car crash. It's dangerous, and you might get hurt. But most people who actually are in a car crash, they survive. And sometimes they might even become better drivers because of their experience, because they made a mistake. Happiness is like a plane crash. There are very few survivors. It's very few who manage to come whole out of a plane going down. It's very difficult to give up happiness, to give up what we think is happiness, these temporary experiences of bliss that we have in the world. Very hard to give up. We all understand that we do not like suffering, but to understand the dangers of worldly happiness, it's quite difficult.
Ani, I have heard when I was working in Bhutan for many years, driving the project there, some of the Lama were telling me that these different Lama, also those who came in Sambhogakaya, different Siddhas and so on, they wanted to, there is also Divine Madman kind of temple there. I don't know if you have been to Bhutan.
No.
Many things. So the idea there is that the idea there is that all these things that is out there, like alcohol, women, this and that, all these Siddha were also utilizing that one to tell them that we are no different from the ordinary being, but although our manifestation is sometimes very wrathful, but deep inside we have compassion. So that is also a kind of way of, it will also give you a witnessing awareness when you fall into a ditch in a disorienting dilemmas, and then you see as a witness yourself and the situation, that may also bring some kind of pragya, right? Some kind of, yeah. What is pragya in Sanskrit, English?
Well, intelligence or wisdom.
Oh, something like that, yeah, okay.
Yeah, higher,
Yes,
higher knowledge.
yes.
Yes, I think so. I mean, what the Siddhas have done of the past and what they sometimes do, that is on a very higher level, and they have their own variety of skillful means
Yes, yes.
that they do.
Yes, yes.
And it can certainly be inspiring and develop and make some develop wisdom.
So there is a hope for other. When you become Siddha, then there is no bondage for you. You can, because you know what you are doing.
You know what you are doing, but then it's like Padmasambhava said, that your view has to be as vast as the sky, but your ethical conduct has to be as fine sifted as flour. So you will automatically, if you have that extreme high view, then your ethical because ethics is the way that we think. It's based in our thoughts. So your ethical life will be perfectly pure on the inside. We sometimes mix up that. We think because the great siddhas that have this incredible view and this incredible insight, they are doing it, then I can do it as well. But because our minds are very far from their level, then it doesn't really become the same thing.
What that Padmasambhava was very, very, very nice thing what he said. You said, your view
Need to be as vast as the sky,
and
but your ethical conduct has to be as fine sifted as flour.
what does that mean?
It has to be very precise and very, very subtle and very, very carefully conducted.
Wonderful. With that note, I thank you so much, Annie. Thank you.